In this video, I'm going to go over beginner concepts for perps trading. This is actually the second video in the series. I made a beginner perps video several months ago, and I just didn't think anyone cared about it, but it keeps racking up views, and I've gotten a few comments. So I'm going to continue the series, and I was recording my trades in a spreadsheet. And part of the reason I stopped the video as well is because I wanted to build a trading journal app, and it's almost done yet. But for now, we're going to go ahead and continue beginner perps trading and covering beginner concepts because I'm a beginner too. And apparently there's not a lot of live trading for perps on crypto on YouTube. So I think this is going to be a very, very unique perspective. And I did take a position, and the position that I did open, I went short hype, and I was a little late on taking the hype short, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I took the hype short in a second. But a couple things about perps trading is the psychology, and kind of like there's a fine line with perps trading and gambling, right? And it's very, very easy to cross that line because you're playing with leverage. So it's like if you're on 3x leverage, every dollar is worth 3x, right? So if you take a trade and it goes up $10 and you profit $10, you're actually up $30. So obviously you can get liquidated and stuff, but the allure of running up a massive stack with a small amount of money is very, very attractive for a lot of people for obvious reasons. But again, it can cross over to gambling. So you really have to get clear about what it is you're trying to do, and you need a clear system as well. And what I'm trying to do essentially is my strategy is to identify obviously very, very high probability setups. And there's something that popped out at me for hype, and I like to use fear greed index a lot. I know a lot of you already know that. If you watch my channel, I reference fear greed index all the time. And some signs you can start looking for when you're going to short or long an asset is extreme emotions. So when it gets to the top of the range, you have extreme emotions, bullish emotions coming out. And with Hyperliquid, it was mooning, right? It had an insane run and everybody's going crazy. It's going to flip Binance. It's going to flip Coinbase and everything. So I started noticing this on Saturday, and I really wanted to rush home and short it around 38, but I was really sitting on my hands. I was like, no, maybe I shouldn't. Let's just wait a little bit, hang on. Maybe it's just like, again, going back to the fine line between what is gambling and what is actually strategy. Is it a compulsive thing? Like you have to get action, or do you actually have a strong feeling according to your strategy? And my strategy was, hey, let's find assets that are overbought or oversold and short them. And hype really checked all the boxes there, because look at this. I mean, look how extended this RSI is over here. It was at 85. That was the peak. People were piling on, and this has a long way to go down. This has a lot of RSI to burn out. It's basically extended off of this track line, which is what the indicators I use. If you use Bollinger Bands, it's touching the top of the Bollinger Bands. So that actually basically tells you that it is, let's see, it's way overextended. So let's remove some of these other indicators right over here. You see that? Bollinger Bands right there. Let's remove all the other ones so we can kind of see everything. It's extended above the Bollinger Bands here. You see, when it's kind of like consolidating and stuff, it's like touching, it's in this channel right over here, and then it's touching basically the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. Touches the bottom, and when it touches the bottom, it's starting to maybe get oversold. You can see it's scraping the bottom here, but it's curling down, and then the bands are right, they're low, they're kind of, and then it touches the bottom, and then it starts rallying upwards, right? It's similar to this track line that I have as well, which is the indicators that I use. I mean, the Bollinger Bands are very similar. They play out a very similar way, but when it's below the track line, it's undervalued or oversold. When it's above the track line, it's the start of a new trend. When it lifts off the track line, it is essentially overbought, right? So, and then the indicators that I use, we also have, what is that, a top and a reversal signal too. So that was like a good place to short as well at 40. And so I shorted this, and I'm thinking about closing it now. I'm up about $100. I'm up about 10%. I'm trying to decide, is it going to bounce here? Is it going to sell off a little bit more? I think it's probably, I don't know. Does it have more downside to go? I think so. Is it going to, the daily definitely does, but is it going to touch all the way down to 30? This has a lot to burn off. So that's kind of what I'm watching over here is the RSI. So it's like an RSI trading strategy. You're looking at the RSI, you're looking at the fear greed index, and you're coming up with a bias. Are you long or short the bias? So I'm short here. And again, I'm new, so I don't really short the market that much. So everything I'm talking to you about is I'm just thinking about out loud, and I'm learning on the way. And it still seems a little bit overbought. Is the market going to go down into neutral? What else is going to happen here? Is this going to sell down a little further? I know the FOMC was bearish as well today. It's like Powell was talking about, we're just kind of looking at stuff. So there's no real cuts coming. So do I want to play the long game here is the question. I probably do. I just want to take my win right here. I don't want to get too greedy because, again, it's a fine line between, gambling and actually running a strategy. And I think 10% and basically a day is pretty good. That's $100, $108. It's not a crazy amount of money. But again, I am trying to do this slowly and sustainably. So I think I'm going to go ahead and close my position here. Or should I, The RSI makes me think that it's going to sell off more. That's the thing. It's like when I look at the RSI, I think it's going to sell off more. But I also don't want to talk myself into staying in the position, because that is a mistake as well, just because I want action. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? So actually, let's look at something real quick. Oh, it looks like it's accelerating ever since. So it looks like this is a little bit lagging the actual market. So let's just look stuff up. What are the common mistakes perps traders make? Let's look at the common mistakes and try to figure it out from there. It's popular in crypto, common mistakes. Overusing leverage. Many new perps traders are attracted to the high leverage available, but using excessive leverage amplifies both gains and losses. If the market moves against a highly levered position, losses can quickly exceed your initial margin, right? We know that. Trading without a plan, jumping into trades without a defined strategy is a frequent error. A solid trading plan should outline entry, exit points, risk limits, profit targets. Okay. Trading impulsively, especially in volatile markets, neglecting stop losses and risk management. over trading, entering new trades, especially after a loss, revenge trading, ignoring fees, risking too much capital on one trade. That's probably a big one. Lack of market understanding, letting emotions drive decisions. So, you know what, guys? I think I'm just going to close the position because I think this is probably good enough. And my starting position is about 2,000. I have 2,000 in this account. You can't really risk 1 or 2% because it's just not that much money. What is that? $2. So I kind of need to figure out what's an optimal amount because I'm starting with a small amount, right? So if I'm starting with a small amount, then do I play it a little bit more aggressively? Is the question. If I only have 2,100, I basically had, what is that? So I had a 78 hype position, right? Wow, this looks like it's going to accelerate. So, but again, you don't want to FOMO, right? You don't want to like FOMO a position per se. Did I close it too early? That's what we're trying to figure out. That's why we're on this. That's why we're trading. Looks like I did maybe close it a little too quickly, but I think being satisfied with whatever it is you just traded is fine, and you just got to move on. So until next time, guys, I think that's it. By the time I do another video, I think we're going to have the Trading Journal app ready, and then you guys can use it as well, and I can track all my trades in there, and basically it keeps a history of all your trades, and it spots patterns and mental mistakes and all that stuff, and it keeps track of things. So like, let's say you make 100 trades and then you try to make this trade, it'll ask you, hey, are you sure you should be making this trade? It seems like you're trading emotionally. What are your thoughts on the market? And that will basically kind of help you spot poor, unprofitable behavior patterns. So should be ready in a couple of weeks. I'll have a few more videos up until then. But for now, that's all I have. And thanks for watching.